We're used to reading about supernatural beings. Some are benign, some actively seek to take lives, to kill. And we enjoy them all because they're portrayed well by talented writers. But sometimes it's good to remember there are normal people living normal lives where death is forever and life is a struggle. Today we peek into the life of one such man, Dr. Nathan Jamison. Meet the Doctor, written by Nathan Jamison. Tonight at the hospital was bad, really bad. People died. Being a doctor, I'm trained to save lives, but the pile-up on the turnpike had killed people and mangled others. We did save some that came in critical condition, victims whose golden hour had nearly passed by. Then there were the ones that could not be saved, no matter what my team and all the combined efforts of the hospital staff could do. Children had died, and that's the hardest part on medical personnel. For me, it hit really hard. I held the heart of a 4-year-old in my hand, gently compressing the damaged organ to keep the little girl alive, as an ER surgeon tried to sew up all the damage to her tiny body. In the end, the damage to her carotid artery was too severe. She bled out, and her heart stopped. I scrubbed a hand over my face, sick to death of the loss of life. So sick, in fact, that I was thinking of changes, really seriously thinking of it. Not because I failed today at being a doctor, but because I was missing out on my daughter's brief life, Briella. Seeing a girl only a bit older than my sprite die in my arms hit me hard because it could have been my girl. It made me see that I was missing out on so much. Finally home, I stood over her sleeping form after tucking her back in and just watched her for a moment. She was the beat of my heart, my angel. Her mother was out of the picture, dead from a drug overdose when my baby was a couple of months old, and she never knew her. We lived in Manhattan, in my parents' house on Riverside. Yeah, we got money. Well, they do at least. I'm a struggling doctor in the busiest ER in New York City. But it's time for a change. I've been doing this for over 5 years, more years than Briella has been alive. When she shifted in her sleep, I leaned down and kissed her gently, then left to get to my room. The walk down the hallway, feeling endless, my feet dragged so badly that as I came to my parents' bedroom door, I knocked, knowing Mom would still be awake and waiting for me. We'd talked earlier, so she knew what a fucked up day I'd had. "It's open," my mother's voice called to me. I stuck my head inside, then smiled when she patted the ottoman where her feet were propped up. She sat on a large, comfortable chair, reading, but put her book on her lap when I walked in. "Hey, Mom. Was Sprite any trouble today?" I sat on the edge, so tired I thought I might curl up there if I stayed too long. "Let her wake me in the morning, Mom. I want to take her to school." My mother straightened from her relaxed position and leaned forward. I wasn't surprised when she folded me in her arms and held me tight to her. For that brief time, I let her. I took the comfort only a mother can give. It had been too fucking close, all that death. "Let her stay home from school since you're off, Nathan. Everyone will understand. That accident..." Her big green eyes, just like Briella's, filled with tears. "Yeah, it could have been them. Mom had called on the turnpike. They were stuck behind an accident. The accident. It could have been them crushed and mangled under that school bus. Fuck. Yeah, okay, Mom. She stays home." I kissed Mom's cheek, so thankful she's there. She understood me more than I did myself. I offered a tired smile as I closed the door. At the end of the hall on the other side of the house, my room occupied the end of the mansion I grew up in. After showering to rid myself of any lingering grime I carried home, I dropped into bed. But sleep failed me for hours. Maybe it was the double shift I'd pulled at the hospital. Maybe it was seeing the faces of parents that had to learn their kids were dead. Maybe I was just beyond tired and needed to get up and walk the tension off. Maybe have some food or a stiff drink. I sighed and looked at the clock, 11:52 p.m. I'd been home for nearly 2 hours. At this rate, I wasn't sleeping until the wee hours of the morning. Ambien wasn't possible for me. What if I got a call to come back into the ER because they were short-handed? No drugs or drink either. It wasn't my style. The minutes ticked by very slowly. I could swear I knew every second that passed. So much for not trying to think about what my main trouble was. Impossible even, if truth be known. It's like an elephant in a Chinese shop. That one thing that couldn't be ignored, because doing so would forever ruin my peace of mind, affect my sleep, make me grouchy, and probably screw with my doctoring. For months, this one thing had been weighing down my mind and making my heart regret choices my brain had made about the direction of my life. Not about being a doctor, no, that was in the blood. This feeling that I was missing out on my daughter's life so I could be that doctor I had dreamed about being, well, it was eating me up. I gotta make a change, I thought as I yet again glanced to the clock. 12:03. Great. Was I seriously thinking of changing my vocation? Well, maybe not, but changing my location doing it. I scooted up in bed until my back was against the headboard, reached to grab my phone and the remote to the massive TV mounted on the wall. Infomercials, Skinamax, early news, late show. I flicked through the channels until I came to TLC. That's it, mindless reality TV. Had no idea what was on, something about meeting and marrying the same day? Oh well, didn't matter. It was background noise and a bit of light in the room, that's all. Forgoing the internet and mindless looking at YouTube videos, I hit gallery on my phone and swiped through the pics. Yep, nothing new. It had been a year since I took a pic of my kid. Fuck, I was missing out on her life. She's almost 4 now, be in school next year. Thinking of her now, and the last pic I took of her running in Central Park, she was a baby then still. Her light brown hair was now longer. Her baby round cheeks had thinned. Her big owl eyes were still there, though, and made more remarkable by her lengthening hair. The pic, she was in top-of-head pixie tails, as she called them. Now she refused to have her hair bound. I traced her image with the pad of my finger. She'd grown several inches this year as well. I scrolled back through the gallery. There was a smattering of pics, weekends, days off, a few of me asleep, with her cuddled on my chest in the family room. Me, still in my scrubs, she still in diapers. Dismally few pics that represented my time with my daughter. I truly was missing her growing up. The next pic was of my mother and daughter. They were laughing and licking something from beater blades. God, I love my mother. She was good with Sprite. The rock that kept the family anchored. Dad was the master of the house, but not stern if you followed the rules. Still, Mom was the one that controlled everything. She's why I live at home with my little girl. While Dad had offered to let us move back after Briella's mother died, it was my mother that insisted. It was Mom that showed up at my door at 6 a.m., unmindful that I'd just fallen back to sleep after feeding my 3-month-old, and started packing my things up. You and my granddaughter are moving home. Not going to listen to anything else. Anyway, you're at the hospital 18 hours a day. She needs her family, and so do you. Dad had come in with 3 large moving men. I'd think on arguing, son. Just do what she says, and you'll be a lot happier. He'd grinned and winked. So get up, go help your mother, while I look in on my granddaughter. The memory faded as I swiped through the next set of pics. My cousin, Kira. She acted as a surrogate mother for Sprite since she was 6 months old. Kira was just finishing up college, would be looking to get a real job later in the summer. Right now, she's in the middle of finals. Summer is nearly here. A time of change. Change. A soft chuckle leaves my chest. The next pic was of me and my best friend. Damn, it's an old pic. How many phone transfers had it gone through? Eduardo Garza. Damn fucker never cracked a huge smile, never saw him with a beer, seemed to be sophisticated, even his early 20s, in graduate school, where we met. He went on to business school, and I eventually went to med school. No two people were ever so different, but we made it work as roommates at Harvard. Fuck yeah, I miss him, but he's off in Fiji in paradise, the fucker. Papa, I want to sleep with you. Lost in the past, I hadn't heard my door open or my little Sprite walk up to the bedside. She stood there, a teddy bear she always slept with in one hand and her favorite blanket in the other. I petted my bed and drew back the blanket. Hop in, Sprite. Change might be coming, but she was here now, and with her came contentment and sleep.